When I watched that back, I'm like,
so funny.
Yeah.
So funny.
And the worst part where I was like, damn, he reminds me of me.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, now I
there
watched
was
that back, I
no
was
way you
like-
could back out of it after saying
No.
that.
What's crazy is like, you just let me just
Sit
die.
in it. Oh,
and
yeah.
sink.
And you just looked, you're like, 2? And you're like, what?
Yeah. They didn't show any of the babbling after that. I was trying to think
It
of
went
anything.
on for a while. I let him sit in it. I was just laughing the whole time. It was, the way they edited that together was honestly perfection. Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Vulnerable. I am your host, Chelsea Vaughn, and today we have a very full studio. We have a 4-person recording for the first time ever, and the people that we have here are Joey and Tessa from our season. Austin's here too. From Bachelor in Paradise Canada season 2. We like to call ourselves the winner's circle. Welcome to Vulnerable.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Oh,
Yes.
So pumped to be here. Yeah.
So pumped.
Austin, welcome back.
I'm a regular
Tessa,
now.
if you guys didn't know, was on Clayton's season of The Bachelor, season 26, right after mine. And Joey was on season 1 of Bachelor in Paradise Canada, but he's also an international supermodel and,
Stop.
and actor.
Yes.
Yes. And Tessa is a model and a musician. Austin, you guys, I feel like you already know everything about Austin.
Yeah,
but-
y'all seen it, bro.
Tell us again.
Yeah.
What did we even do for the intro for us? I don't remember.
I didn't even say. Austin was on Katie's season of The Bachelorette.
For a good time.
And he is a personal trainer and a model.
Mm.
And he is my boyfriend.
Good resume.
Yes. So we're going to start off with What's Going Vaughn. That's a segment that I do.
Mm.
And
I didn't get to do this one.
It's going Vaughn.
you did it.
I never did get to do
It's a
this
very
one.
punny podcast.
That's good.
What's Going Vaughn? I ask everyone, my guests, what's one thing in their life they're excited about right now?
Oh.
Deza.
I'm excited to move back to New York City.
This is tea.
It's a little bit of tea, actually. Yeah.
Piping hot.
Piping hot.
Yeah.
It's still in the kettle, to be honest.
Fresh off
Yeah,
the press.
if you guys didn't know, Tessa moved to Canada for love.
She did.
I did.
For me.
For
She
Joey.
moved to- She moved to Canada to be with me, and we not immediately regretted it. It's just,
Took some time, but yeah, to it.
no, I don't know. Listen, we love Canada. Canada's great, free healthcare, but we're both young and healthy, so
Yeah. And this isn't like immediate future. This could be, like next year. But just like in general, I'm excited to move back. Just being here again. Like,
yeah. I
You
mean,
know.
same. I used to live in New York on and off for like
Yeah.
6 years. And we both kind of. I think it's just the next step for both of us. Is probably here. I don't know. We were chitting about LA too, but we'll see.
we'll see.
We're excited for you to move back here.
Amen.
Don't go to LA. Come back.
Well, no, we said
There's
we're moving
nothing in LA.
We said
bro.
we're moving to New York though, not New Jersey.
How
Oh,
dare you?
It's close enough. This stone's throw away.
It's
Wow.
all the same. Tri-state. You know.
Ouch.
Bada bing, bada boom. Tomato,
Yeah,
tomato.
tomato.
Do you have the same thing you're excited about, or do you have something you would like to add?
I mean, yeah, I'm excited. I mean, I've been in Toronto too for about like 5-6 years now, so I'm ready to move on to something different, something new. I think I'm just excited for us to move somewhere together. Like that's kind of so it'd be like a good start for us again. Not that we haven't already started in Toronto, but like I don't know, just somewhere we can just really both get after it. So yeah,
Define get after it.
so it's when you find some after. And then you get it. Yeah. And then you just
So it could be whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Coffee.
Can you have
Life
too much
goals.
after?
There's no such thing as too much after it. No.
Mm.
No, after it is prescription that you can take just copious amounts of.
Is that like a life motto of yours?
Pretty
Get
much,
after it?
yeah. Just get after
I feel like if you had a catchphrase, that would be one of them.
Get
Oh,
after it.
Yeah.
What would be the other one?
I don't know. I just feel like he says a lot of things.
it. It should be a long list.
Sayings,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Austin, what are you excited about right now in life?
Well, we're leaving for Atlanta tomorrow.
Whoop
We
whoop.
I get to meet your parents
Yes.
in person for the first time, so I would say I'm excited for that. And your sister and just immediate close family.
Yeah. I feel like it's been a long time coming, obviously. I feel like I've been talking about it too on the pod for a while, but it's finally happening tomorrow, guys.
Yeah.
When this episode comes out, it will be done and dusted.
Yeah.
But what am I excited about? I mean, I feel like I've talked about the apartment a lot. But I am excited to move into it and become a New Jersey native again.
Native. Back to your roots.
I'm excited for Fashion Week. I feel
True.
like
Mhm.
it snuck up very quickly again. September's right around the corner.
Mhm.
And I'm like, I don't know. I've been going back and forth between like being a person that sits in the audience and watches, which I love doing, and then also being like someone that walks. So it was nice, like the last couple of seasons, not to have to work, because like at the end of the day, walking the runway is work. But I did like when I was sitting there, kind of like was itching to like, I'm like, oh, I miss it. Like I wonder what they're doing backstage. Like I kind of want to do it. Blah blah blah. So I kind of just want to do it. I haven't walked in a show since Bachelor or since I shaved my head. So a very different version of me.
I mean, that's exciting though. Fashion shows are like, I kind of felt the same way because I did a lot when I was younger.
Yeah.
And they're like a lot of fun. It's just like, there's such high energy, and you get down at the end and it's all the cameras like,
There's like nothing like that rush on the runway, even though it's only like 25 seconds.
And then when you go, can we swear on this or no?
Yeah.
Fucking A. So
Hell yeah, bro.
also when you get on the runway, it's like something about, because when you do a photo shoot, it's like, all right, cool, you can own it, whatever, like work it. Yeah, let's go and go.
Right.
But when you're on the runway and you walk out and you're like, well, this is my fucking runway.
Yeah, it's
and
my
you just
shit.
go. Yeah. It's
So
like-
my heart's racing. That sounds terrible.
That sounds rough, bro.
Sounds awful.
No, like somebody asked me after Bachelor, like what I was more nervous about. It was like getting out of the limo or like stepping onto the runway. And I was like, getting out of the limo for sure. Like when I'm behind the curtain, like when you're about to walk on the runway, you're like behind a little curtain and the person with the microphone in is like counting the seconds between the like last person that went. And then they're like, Joey, go. And they like push you out. Chelsea, go. And like that second, like right before you go out, it's like, but the limo,
Yeah.
I was like, I've never been that nervous in my life. Like
Right.
Yeah.
the cameras, like it was insane.
It's so quiet too. It's just
And
like
that was something else.
You know what's kind of sad? We've all been able to step out of a limo, but Joey hasn't.
Yeah, I was just
Damn.
about to say that. I was like, cool, you guys must be nice. In Canada, we have docks.
You don't know the step out of the limo.
I
Like,
watched
Should
off
we
of-
arrange that somehow? Like reach
Yeah.
Oh
out to someone.
Joey
and
for
get-
Bachelor? Well,
if
That's
too
they
little,
brought
too late.
Canadian Bachelor back and you were single,
yeah.
I
We can do like a mock, you know?
does
like,
the Bachelor walk out of a limo, or just the people he meets come out of the limo?
Oh yeah.
just the
never
people
mind.
that he's meeting. So
Yeah.
the Bachelor
Yeah.
stands like, well,
Yeah.
it used to be at Bachelor Mansion. You
Yeah.
would stand like in the driveway,
Mhm.
and then the limo would pull up, and there's like 4 different girls in the limo.
So I couldn't
Yeah.
even be Bachelor then, because I wouldn't be able to get
Yeah,
out
you'd
of
have
the
to be a
limo.
contestant.
No.
You'd have to go on the Bachelorette.
Yeah.
Which means you would have to be the Bachelorette.
We'll
and
fake
then
Yeah,
he would
we'll-
have to come out.
We'll fake a breakup.
Yeah.
Tessa
Yeah.
goes on as the new American Bachelorette.
Falls in love immediately on the limo.
It's
Yes.
happened before.
Calls it a day.
I don't like this. Thank you. That's enough.
Okay, well, it's a very similar feeling to being backstage about to walk on the runway.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
anticipatory.
Except for the lights and cameras, instead of being at the end of the runway, they're all right there as soon as you put your foot out of the door.
Yeah. And you guys, you guys were in New Mexico. So when you guys got
No.
out,
Nemacolin.
Yeah.
I was in Pennsylvania,
oh, Pennsylvania.
I was at the mansion.
Oh, okay.
which is
Yeah.
crazy. 'Cause I've
Crazy.
never, still to this day,
I
been to
saw
Bachelor
them
Mansion.
get the hose and make the driveway shiny for us
Oh,
to slip
really?
and fall. Like what?
Wait, that's a thing?
Yeah, they
Okay.
make it shiny
They
with,
didn't do
with a
that for
hose.
us.
Oh, ours was a like red carpet leading up at this like
Oh, that's
resort.
nice.
Yeah.
Like steps that you have to walk up. It was wild.
We had like a wood board, like stepping up to a platform, and then it's just gravel up into that. So you don't hear anything when you first step out, like but the gravel. So it's just like, damn, I have to say something, or it's just gonna stay quiet. Like,
Yeah.
it's
yeah, my heart was in my
stressful.
stomach,
So-
and I was that girl that forgot to say her name.
Hi.
He asked.
Oh.
I walked out and I was like, "Hi, nice to meet you." I gave him a hug, and I started I had rehearsed it, so I was like, "I need to get this speech out." And he's like, "What was your name again?" I was like, "I never said it."
At least he asked.
Yeah, thank God. Fuck. Joey, what happened when you stepped out?
Well,
and you met the host.
yeah, I walked out. It was just on the beach both times. You just walk off a boat
Yeah.
that didn't actually pull in. They just make it look like it did. So you just walk off a boat that's docked up the dock
Yeah.
to the host and like, hey, how are you?
I
Well, thanks for being here. So excited to have you.
Yeah.
The beach awaits. Let's go find
Oh, I
love.
bet.
And then you just walk onto the beach and everyone's already there. You're like,
Maybe at our wedding, honey, you can step out of a limo.
Oh.
yes.
Oh, speaking of the wedding,
I'm throwing fucking doves.
just go have them like.
I would
crawl.
be a terrible journalist if I didn't ask. What are the wedding plans? What's coming up? What are you guys doing?
Yeah. So,
That's a good question.
turns out weddings are expensive.
Who knew?
So that's the first hurdle, is just like being able to afford anything. Secondly, we're from 2 different countries, so where we have the wedding is a huge question mark. People have been sending in really bad ideas, like cruises, like
Yeah,
get married
cruises
in the
would be
sea.
crazy.
It's like
That's an interesting one.
Vegas.
Yeah, someone said Vegas.
hmm
Vegas would go hard.
Vegas is where you go
No.
to get married like by yourselves though, not to like
Little
get
drive-through
everyone.
action, dude.
But I feel like if you get married in the States,
Mhm.
is your family going to be upset by that, Joey? And if you get married in Canada, is your family going to be upset by that?
I think Tessa's family would be less upset. They just probably will not.
Wouldn't come.
Some of them will go. Some of them will.
Some
not.
of them will not go.
If it's in Canada.
Well, certain parts of Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joey's from like
Oh,
Canada.
what? Yeah.
It's not like Canada.
Alberta.
It's like
Yeah, going
Alberta.
getting to Alberta, like getting to the parents' acreage, is like you might as well fly from New York to Milan because you get there quicker.
truly.
Like, but actually though, because by the
Yeah.
time you like say her parents fly from New York.
Mhm.
Well, first of all, they live in Connecticut, and your dad's in Tallahassee, so
It's
there's no direct flights from Tallahassee to Calgary last time I
Yeah.
checked. So even if you want to do that, it's a 3-hour drive from Calgary down to my parents' acreage, or you can take a flight from
Yeah.
Calgary to Medhat, but there's only like 1 or 2 a day, and they're
Yeah.
crazy expensive. So you're taking from New York, it's a, I don't know, 5-hour flight to Calgary, 4.5 hours, plus then another 3-hour drive if you want to take the drive. So that's 7 plus the time to get to the airport, and
Yeah.
it's a trek.
That is a fair trek.
Yeah.
Even your guys' engagement party, I was like,
Mhm.
I love you guys so much.
This is so out of the way.
Yeah.
We can't make it.
Yeah,
I've been to like multiple of your engagement parties at this point.
Yeah.
I've been there when you were engaged.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
and on top of that, like I love Medicine Hat. It's a great place, but there aren't many things to do beyond like going to our wedding. There is the world's largest teepee in Medicine Hat. It's
Wow.
kind of a vibe, but
Interesting.
It takes all of 2 seconds to see it, and you're like,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah,
I
this is
saw it.
dope.
yeah, it's huge. You
Out
can
of
see
your-
it from your car. So
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, you could do like this is expensive, obviously. Destination wedding. So then it's like fair, fair ground
game.
for everyone.
Well, yeah, we were thinking that because like to get all of our families together, we're talking like Tallahassee. Your sister lives in Florida.
Florida, yeah.
And then New York, Connecticut, Toronto, Medicine Hat, Calgary. So we got to bring a lot of different cities
Martha's
together.
Vineyard.
Martha's
My uncle hangs
Vineyard.
out in Martha's Vineyard like year round sometimes. So
I just feel like there's no way you can please everyone. Though.
Space.
Like
Yeah,
somebody's
there's no
not
way.
coming.
Somebody's gonna get hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as far as a location, we don't have one.
Step one.
As far as a date, we don't have one.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we have each other.
we have each other.
Yes.
That's all that matters.
Yes.
Do you have are you looking at dresses?
So I've tried on dresses before.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh.
I did a little like private shopping trip just to see what was out there.
Yeah.
I thought I found the one. It was actually the third dress I tried on.
I feel like that
Wow.
would be you.
I was just like, shoot. Great. But my mom wasn't there, so I may have to recreate the moment with her.
Oh.
But
Mm.
it's next level.
I think she's also going to go dress shopping in Toronto with like 3 of my guy buddies, which is going to be
Oh
hilarious.
yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
boys, go dress shopping.
Just for
today."
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I've modeled a lot of bridal.
Mm-hmm.
And so whenever I do end up looking for wedding dresses, I don't feel like it's going to be that special. Like, you know how people talk about
Yeah.
like, oh, it was the first time I put on a dress. And like, it just felt like, I'm like, I've put on a lot of wedding dresses.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I put on like a lot of like couture, like really nice dresses that I can't afford.
Mhm.
So if I end up at David's bridal, I'm going to be really underwhelmed. And these aren't like the ones I wore on the runway day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough. That's what I like hate about modeling is I wear these like $10,000 jackets, and I'm like, before you try them on, you're like, what, $10,000 for a jacket?
Yeah,
That's great.
yeah.
And you put it on, you're like, oh, but it's
I
like
could see
butter on my
why.
skin.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to take
It's
this
like giving
off.
like a big hug.
Yeah, and then you go back to your Levi's denim jacket, and you're like, wow, fuck.
Oh, man.
You're like, this isn't the
Yeah.
same. It's cozy, but
Wait, what's happening with the engagement party though? Is it still up in the air? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We can.
I'm sure you guys can relate. Like, hiding a relationship for a year, like everything just becomes a little more stressful because like
course.
you're not doing something new for the first time. For everyone else, it's the first time.
Yeah.
So to your point, you've literally seen us get engaged like in real time. You celebrated us in Brooklyn over a year ago.
and then we had to hide it for a year. And then when we had planned on doing our engagement party with like everyone in Alberta, with like so our families could meet, I booked a role in a TV show in Winnipeg, of all places, Manitoba. So then I was there filming that for 6 weeks, and we had to like cancel the engagement party. So now
Right.
it's like, I don't know, are we pushing it too far? Do we have an engagement party and then a wedding, or do we just be
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
fuck it, let's get married and not force everyone to go through this, 5 more times?
Yeah.
Got it. So now it's kind of like, should we even bother?
Yeah.
Mm.
I got it. Oh, that's kind of sad though.
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, meep. Maybe you could just have like a no. Then you have to the cross country thing is really a struggle here with you guys.
Yeah.
It's tricky.
And they're such close countries too.
It is.
Like when I think of international relationship, I think of like, super, super far away. But realistically,
I think, yeah, that's one thing that I think I've learned in this is that And I didn't think it sounded that crazy because, again, I used to live in New York. So to me, like being engaged to an American girl from New York, I was like, yeah, that sounds pretty normal. I did not realize like how international Canada and US can be when it comes to being in a relationship with somebody. Like just crossing that small border makes everything so much more fucking difficult.
And the exchange rate.
Oh God, don't even get me started. Oh. I don't even want to think about how much this beer just cost me because I'm going to add an extra like $30 on top.
Jesus.
Lordy.
Yeah, no, when I first went on the show, I was like, oh, I would like totally be down to fall for a Canadian guy. No offense, babe. But I was like, oh, there's going to be Canadian guys there. Like, I live in New York. Like, that's much better than falling for somebody who lives in California. Like, 3-hour time difference, 6 hours on a plane. But after seeing you guys, I was like, nah, it's actually not more
Cali's
convenient.
pretty easy. To be fair, though, like Tessa did this to herself. She sent me a video that she took before she went on Canadian Bachelor that she like sent to her friend jokingly. She's like, oh my God, wouldn't it be hilarious if I like went up there and got engaged to a hockey playing Canadian?
Yeah.
Damn.
Manifested it.
It's real.
To a T, by the way. Yeah, what?
Okay, I feel like we should just get these Bachelor questions out of the way. Because people had asked some questions for us. I told them you guys were coming on.
Okay.
And while we're already talking Bachelor, let's just get into it. Let's get after it.
There it is.
Oh, this one was already answered. Have you guys? Oh, they asked if me and you, Tessa, have booked wedding dates yet. So in case you guys didn't know, I am not engaged.
Do you see a ring, bro? No.
Austin and I, once again, are not engaged. We did not get engaged on the television program. We are currently in a lovely boyfriend and girlfriend relationship. We're moving in together. And I was just talking about this because every time I do a Q&A now, every time I post a picture, a TikTok, the comment section is,
show the ring. Show it.
When are you guys getting engaged? When is Austin going to put a ring on
bro?
it? Does he regret not putting a ring on it? And I just don't think anyone would ask that if we weren't on a TV show.
No one would. You guys have been together for what, over a year?
Yeah.
Like,
Imagine just going to your friends like, oh, you guys been dating for a year? That's
Like,
cool.
in a
You should
ring.
probably
Yeah.
you should probably wait, is what they would say. They'd be like, if you came up and said you're engaged, you're like proposed to her, they'd be like, do you want to maybe wait like 2-3 years before you
And actually,
make
get
it?
to know her a
go
little
the
bit more?
distance. Yeah. Not-
Yeah. How do you feel about that? Seeing that comment in my comment section all the
I think
time
I think it's normal because that's the setup for the show. Like they kind of not push, but like okay, they push engagement onto whoever's like together. So for us, obviously, we're very comfortable with like the decision that we chose. So it wasn't like a damn, should I do it? It's just like no, we are gonna do what feels the most natural, and we're not gonna force anything that doesn't feel natural. So no, it doesn't feel weird. I think where we're at is very self-paced, and we're on like the same page with it.
Yeah, I just didn't know if it made you feel any type of way when people are like,
Stop asking, man.
I mean,
Austin, why?
they're only doing it because I mean we kind of fucked you over. We got
Yeah,
engaged.
you absolutely did.
Yeah,
I
we
gotta
set the
say-
bar, and now they're like, well, what the hell's wrong with you guys?
What did y'all do?
You guys were together from day
The
one.
fact, what I love is like we can hang out all together and it's not weird that like 2 of us decided to get engaged on the show and then 2 are still dating. And I don't think there's any like love competition between us. It's just like different.
I don't think so.
You know?
But you guys were very much like, it wasn't the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how to
Very
describe
different.
that, but like we were together from day one. Still, as soon as you guys got together, it was
Yeah.
like, I could see them two getting engaged.
Yeah.
With the quickness,
It's
man.
certain, you know?
Yeah, I mean we're both psychotic.
Truly.
Yeah.
It's a little just
But I don't think anyone said that about us, though.
What?
Like, I don't think anyone on the beach was like, I could see Chelsea and Austin getting engaged. Just
Yeah.
because, I don't know.
Well, no,
I'm a
we
very
played
realistic person.
We played that like whatever Vegas dealing
game,
game,
yeah.
and then like
Oh,
everyone
yeah.
just chucked
Yeah.
chips on me and Tessa.
it's funny because like in my head and heart, you were like high school sweethearts. Kind of, I kept saying Steph and Aisha Curry. Like they've been together for so long and they
That's
decided
true.
to get married after like 10 plus years.
Mm.
With us, it's giving shotgun Vegas wedding.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Vegas
yeah.
little
I mean, we knew you
drive-thru.
guys were crazy enough to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was something special that we didn't see on TV for each one of our couples? Like, is there anything that happened with you guys that you're like, oh, I wish they aired this?
There's so many things.
Okay, a good one.
I don't
I'm trying to
know.
think about
Pick
us.
one.
We wrote a beautiful haiku
It's the first thing that came to my mind too.
Oh.
Yeah.
Aw.
on the beanbags in the blazing hot sun.
I don't know if I'd call it beautiful as much as
It was a haiku.
Yeah, it was a haiku. It exists as a haiku.
Technically, yeah. On paper.
By definition, it was a haiku.
But
Yes.
it was insane.
You wrote it together.
Yes.
Aw.
Did you
Word for
recite
word.
it?
Yes.
You
Did you
remember
remember it?
Yeah.
No. Absolutely
Damn it.
not.
They for sure remember.
Yeah, they just
wanna
don't want to do
say
it right now. Tessa remembers it for sure.
Yeah,
Actually, we plan on
100%.
naming our firstborn Haiku after a haiku. Haiku Tookes Kirchner. Tookes.
Tookes.
I'm sorry.
Tookes.
That's just not my last
Listen,
name.
if you're coming to Canada, it's Tookes. You only wear Tookes in Canada.
Wait, I need to say this. Because on maybe last episode or the one before that, somebody asked like, "Oh, my dream podcast guest." Sorry, this is actually kind of awkward now. But I mentioned, you know, that your cousin is.
Yeah.
Tessa's cousin is Jasmine Tookes, the supermodel that I was talking about that was one of my dream podcast guests.
Wow.
But I'm really glad that I have you.
Second best isn't bad.
We're also like we're second cousins too. So
Yeah.
it would be fine if you had her on after. It wouldn't be like bloodline. It would be like, you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
But you, I mean, you guys look related.
Also, my last
Oh, yeah.
modeling photos I got back, she might have to, I don't
Pick up
know.
the game.
Bro, you get to watch out. Listen,
Yeah.
She's shaking.
I've seen Jasmine and I've seen Tessa.
Yeah.
And
And
Tessa.
she's got a few years on me in the modeling department, so.
True. Yeah, you're bringing fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's
Move for
something
me.
that didn't air with us that something
kinda-
special?
I kind of like our date that was by the dock and we took like Polaroid pictures.
Oh, our little stars.
Yeah,
on the
we're
dock
kind of
date.
like
yeah.
because we had that, we had champagne, we had sparklers. I think.
We had sparklers. We had
Yeah.
a Polaroid, and we took our first picture
I think
together.
by far that was the cutest date that wasn't like budgeted. And like, you know, it's like we kind of just had the essentials there, but we made it feel like nice, you know.
Well, it was like you were like, oh, you know, I know you like the stars and like horoscopes and stuff. So we went to the dock and they had like a telescope that didn't
That
work.
didn't work. Yeah, it just didn't work.
See, I was like, oh my god, how sweet! We're gonna look at this. We're gonna stargaze. There's like plastic stars on the blanket.
Just kind of thrown out.
Thrown about. The telescope doesn't work, and we're like, okay, we're gonna ignore that. Light the sparklers up. We popped the champagne. We took some pics. It was really cute.
Oh yeah, and then the Polaroid only had like 3 pictures to it. Like as soon as we took 3, we were like, wait, that's it? Like, that's
Yeah.
all we had?
And then I told you I was falling for you. I think there were a lot of stages. It was like, I'm falling for you. I'm falling in love with you. I love you. I'm in love with you.
Yeah. You said crush too. I remember that one. They didn't show that one.
He likes to
said
consider
crush
crush
first?
as a stage. Yeah.
Really?
And
Not
it's
as, I
cute.
wouldn't say as a stage, but I think you don't just say I'm like I have a crush on you to anybody. I hope, you know. I feel like that's a step, not a stage. Like
I mean, I think Austin really bought it when he said, "Oh, look, Joey's falling in love too."
Yeah.
Tookes.
Tookes.
Yeah, I did say I have a crush.
That
on
shit
you.
was crazy because when I watched that back, I'm like,
so funny.
yeah.
So funny.
That
And
was-
the worst part where I was like, damn, he reminds me of me.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah.
bro, now I
there
watched
was
that back, I
no
was
way you
like-
could back out of that after saying
No.
that.
What's crazy is like you just let me just
Sit
die,
in it. Oh, yeah.
and sink.
And you just looked, you're like, 2, and you're like, what?
Yeah, they didn't show any of the babbling after that. I was trying to think
It
of
went
anything.
on for a while. I let him sit in it. I was just laughing the whole time. It was, the way they edited that together was honestly perfection.
You froze.
Insane.
It was
It
hilarious.
was really,
Definitely
really
not
good.
froze, but I definitely just started saying anything. Oh, were you there?
No, I'm just saying it looked frozen to me. I'm watching it over.
But it was just so, it was genuine. Like, it was just so work. He was just
Yeah.
staring at you guys like, damn, Joey's falling in love too.
Yeah.
That was one of my
Guilty.
favorite moments
Sold
for sure.
himself.
You looked so
Guilty.
red too. I feel like your face, like the blush was really.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You can't hide love. What are you
He,
talking
he
about?
could not hide it,
Everybody,
I'd say.
I would say everybody. If you guys were like a little bit like whiter, like I feel like everybody blushed at some point. You definitely were blushed.
Bro.
Blush.
Yeah,
I've seen
blushed
you
the whole
blush
time.
before.
Me?
Yeah.
100%.
I'm wearing blush. I don't blush.
It went through the blush. That's how strong it
Nah,
was.
yeah, I really don't be blushing.
You don't
blush?
gotta
Yeah,
lie.
I blush.
Oh
You
yeah. I
guys-
made taste.
I don't.
Yeah.
I could like maybe count on one hand how many times I felt like you feel your face
Next
getting
time you
hot.
blush, I'm gonna tell you.
Okay.
Yeah,
My face, like maybe like 2 times in life, I've been like, oh, my face is like getting hot.
yeah.
Huh.
So that's you've
blushing
noticed.
to me.
You've like when you notice it, it's blushing, but when you don't notice it,
I guess I can't see my own face. I could have blushed. I
Next
don't
time,
know.
I'll get that mirror out.
yeah.
Okay, between like yourselves, amongst yourselves, do you discuss how much you want to share, like on the internet?
Between ourselves.
Everything. But we're dropping the OnlyFans tomorrow.
Oh God.
Oh my
Well,
god.
I think for me, so I didn't expect so many people to tell us how much our relationship meant to them. Like people DM us saying, like on Instagram, you know, your relationship makes me believe in love again. Like I love seeing you together. It makes me so happy. So I'm a bit agreeable and I like to do things to make people happy. So because of that, I'm happy to share anything that brings joy to people. Like I want to make someone who just like ended a long-term relationship feel like they can find love again. That's like, I think that's my purpose right now in this relationship. like in terms of interacting with the public.
Yeah, I think right now for us, to quote Mean Girls, the limit does not exist. I mean, I don't know, because like you guys know, I don't have much of a filter to begin with, so there's not much that people are wondering what's on my mind. So
Not a mysterious
I think,
guy.
yeah,
Very
very mysterious. So I think like even within our relationship, but also it's like one of those things where the beginning of all of our relationship to our engagement was shown on national television across Canada. So
Right.
the basis of our relationship started by being very intimately connected to all the viewers watching it. So now it's kind of like, you know, some other maybe people that don't get engaged on TV show are like, you know what, I don't really want to show this side of my engagement with public.
Right.
Well, we already ripped that Band-Aid off. So
Right,
at this
yeah.
point, it's like, yeah, like we're probably not going to show them us like making our first child, but like we'll probably be like,
Probably.
here's a
Yeah.
picture of
The
our first
problem.
child. You know?
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
Still up in the air.
Yeah, we
Like,
haven't talked about it yet.
Yeah.
but
I don't think that I'll be one of those like Instagram mom emoji over face parents. Like I think my kids will just have to accept that they're children of the 21st century and have their faces on the internet. Maybe when they're 3 we can like talk with them about it. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I feel like in the beginning we kind of talked about it. Obviously, like when the show was still not, the finale hadn't aired yet. And we were like, oh, should we post this? Because then it looks like we're obviously still together or like whatever.
Yeah.
And then I also feel like, not to be like, I'm kind of a big deal, but like, because I already had like a large following of people that were invested in my like love life, I feel like I'm more like careful / strategic about it. That sounds weird, but like
Get that.
it is my job
Yeah.
at the
Yeah.
end of the day. And so it's like, I do think about it because I'm like, how much do I want to share in the podcast?
Mhm.
How much of it, like,
Mhm.
where's the line where it's like, maybe Austin doesn't want me talking about, I don't know,
Like X, whatever that may be. I don't know.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just, you know, really depends on, I mean, right now we're like a little bit famous. We're like, you know, W-list celebrities in Canada.
W.
That's pretty good. That's, high
not
up
bad.
there. Yeah.
That's up there. That's pretty good. We're like
It's
just
above
shortly
average.
behind, you know, like I can't think of anyone who was
Yeah.
shortly behind this.
Yeah.
No.
That's like barely.
Connor McDavid. You guys know who that is?
No.
No
Didn't
idea.
think so. Exactly.
Just
So-
names.
I mean, all my Canadians can be like, Joey, you're nowhere near Connor McDavid, so
Is he,
get his
like,
name out your
D-list?
mouth. No, he's huge. He's
Oh.
like one of the biggest hockey players in NHL.
yeah.
I know him.
Hockey's
Okay.
not big here. Well, I guess.
But yeah,
to
once
a
we maybe
degree.
start getting like really famous, then we'll think about more. So in like a month or so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The kids thing is interesting to me though, because I'm like, and my brother, like, literally, we're not allowed to post my niece and nephew anywhere, and my niece just turned 7. So like when they were first born, I was like, so how long are we gonna do this? Like, is it just when they're babies, or like? And he's like, maybe like forever. I'm like, so they're never gonna be on the internet? I just don't. I personally don't get it, but I guess we're very much internet people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I get it, like asking your kids for consent about posting the photos once they understand like what the implications are.
Right.
But like when they're babies, like a baby face, like no one's gonna, you know.
Babies are like goofy as
And
shit.
yeah, they all look the same.
Yeah, they're all like,
They all
We
look
looked
the
alike as
same.
babies.
yeah, we were just a bunch of little aliens.
You guys
Yeah.
related?
I wish I had baby pictures of you guys to put on.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll
on
send you
screen.
one.
Yeah.
You good?
That's funny. Okay, let's take a quick break and then we'll come back and I don't know what we're gonna do. All right, we're gonna play a fun little game. It's kind of similar to the Newlywed Game if you guys have ever heard or seen it, that, whatever. And I'm just picking the questions that I personally like the best. If an actor had to play your fiance in a movie, who would it be?
That's fucking good.
Yeah, it's a good
I like
one.
that
that's really
question.
good.
Yeah.
You go first.
You.
Keep in mind that I am an actor. So you can say Joey.
Yourself.
But like with your personality and all that stuff,
Mhm.
that's really challenging.
That's a
Fuck's
tough
that supposed to
question.
mean?
Is
Because
it
you
tough?
just
No, I know.
Well, I know who I want. I know who
I.
I want you to say, but I
Who
don't
is
think
it?
you're gonna say.
Okay, you say.
who you want me to say?
No, who, like, tell me who you would want to play me in a movie.
I don't know. It's tricky. Maybe like physique and like energy level. Maybe Chris Hemsworth.
Oh,
Just because
wow.
I don't know, you're both really fit and like he's kind of a goof, but then also like can be serious. And
do you know him personally?
He's a goof. My mate Chris is a goof. Yeah, I'd say him. He'd have to grow his hair out and dye it, but
That's
That's a good one.
to be fair, I think that's the best compliment you ever given me. And I
Damn.
have the biggest man crush on Chris Hemsworth, and this is the best thing ever. I think that's ever happened to me in my entire life. So
Wow, good answer.
amazing, love it, beautiful. Well, Joey, don't fuck this one up. Who would I want to see play you? Okay, but you're so sweet.
Oh, thank you, honey.
You're so lovely.
Oh, thank
and you
you.
care so much about everyone around you. You're just the
Aw.
best.
Just an actress, right?
That's tough because I feel like most people suck and you don't. So to find someone who could
Mhm.
play you would be like near impossible. I have a troll answer.
Oprah.
What?
Sorry, just I don't know. The
Hello?
setting, I was like, I don't know. On my mind.
No, I would say, I mean, and this is like hard because she's just like so big right now and doing so many things, but I feel like she kind of could tap into like your kind of awkwardness stuff that you do.
Yes.
But also show some heart and also everything. So probably Zendaya.
Okay.
That was the one
make
I
a-
wanted.
She's also
Y'all wanna be
my
light
girl crush,
skinned?
celebrity
She's
crush.
my,
like-
So thank
You're
you.
welcome.
That's
Love
the best
that.
answer.
Or like a young
ever.
Gabrielle Union.
For sure. I mean, that
Yes.
would be the one, but
Yeah.
she'd have to do
She'd have to de-age.
de-age software.
Damn, I was hoping I would get Zendaya.
That's what I had in mind, but I can't say it
Look
anymore.
at us.
Is it?
It was.
She's a Virgo.
I think it's
and love
because
her.
I only know so many actresses. And
Oh,
she's
you
like
don't
the
know that
first
many
one.
actresses. That's
And I was
true.
trying to think of the one that you did on TikTok where you're like, oh, you look just like that person. Who was it?
Taraji P. Henson.
Was it?
She's a bit older than me.
Yeah, she
You're young. And it could be any era though. It's
Yeah,
good era.
yeah.
Young Taraji.
Young
Young
Taraji.
Taraji.
That's what I get the most.
Mm.
For you,
Bill Murray.
I'm trying to think.
Bill Murray, bro. I'll take Bill Murray, dude. Shout out to
Huh.
Bill.
I don't know why the first person that came to my mind was like Khal Drogo from what's his actual name? From Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
Oh, Jason Momoa?
Yeah.
What?
I mean, he's just tall and strong. And
They kind of
Hot.
Yeah, but Austin's none of those things.
Yeah.
I'm
what-
every one of those things. He would have to hit the gym.
Okay, you don't know who that is, but that's a compliment.
It is
Yeah,
a
that is,
compliment.
Yeah,
that's
massive.
Good. He's
Yeah.
a,
I
he's a
recognize the
beauty.
name. I don't know the face.
I know him
though.
personally. He's a beauty.
Yeah.
Do not
I
know.
don't.
You have his phone number?
He hangs out in Toronto a lot.
What's your biggest pet peeve about each other? I know you guys are obsessed with each other, but I'm sure you have at least one pet peeve.
Yeah, sorry, it's just dead silence quick. I mean, it's like it's hard because like all of the things that would be a pet peeve, I just end up finding adorable anyways at the end. Like even if they do like frustrate me at a time, it's like an adorable
Yeah.
frustration. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like,
Mine just floated in. I
Oh.
completely agree. And I do find this adorable, but it's funny because I've started to tell you and I know that you're doing it.
okay.
But sometimes it's really like, this is a funny one. So Joey and I will be talking about something that's like not important at all. And he'll go on the internet and look up like random facts about things while we're talking. And I know that he's fully reading about aliens or some kind of like new technology that can find like microscopic. And I'm like, you're reading about nerd stuff again, aren't you?
That's dope, though.
yes, yes, I am.
That sounds
Does it have
very-
to do with what you're talking about?
very
Oh,
But I can
interesting.
see,
A little
I
bit.
can see his eyes scanning and his little like nerd excitement happening on his face. And I'm meanwhile talking about like cat litter. And I'm like, bro, I know that you're looking up nerd stuff.
Yeah. But I'm listening about the cat litter.
So that
Very
it's really
niche.
cute.
Yeah.
We already answered this on
Yeah.
the other pod, but if you have another one about me, you can tell me.
I wouldn't say no.
I would say yours is just like I was talking about this with Austin yesterday, just leaving the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was mine.
Yeah,
Oh no,
Just
he
being
hates
late.
that about me too.
I just got to force her out, like, because if I don't, again, like, if I just allowed Tessa to continue getting ready,
Yeah.
like, we won't be there until the next day.
Yeah.
Like, she'll just continue to find things to do.
That's honestly impressive because I don't even
Same.
do that.
I know.
I'll just tough it out and just sit there and be like, damn.
No,
we're
you
just
reach a point where you're like,
30 minutes past.
are we going? I'm like,
Yeah.
oh fuck,
I
he's
thought we
really
had to be there like 4 hours
PSA
ago.
to all men: no woman wants to hear that they look fine when they're leaving the house. Like, oh no, you look fine. Come on, like fine.
Guess your real pet peeve when
Yeah.
Joey's
There it is. There it is.
I look
it
fine.
finally reaches the
I
surface.
look-
But you know what I mean? I'm not
Okay.
being like, oh no, I'm not saying like it's fine. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, honey, you look fine.
You look
Like,
great. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
It's the tone though that
Yeah.
they think is bad.
No, it's the word fine.
obviously, you're gorgeous. Just get
Yeah.
the fuck out of the house.
It's just a shorter word. Like gorgeous
Austin
takes
doesn't
too
really
long.
say fine, which is nice.
Yeah, I never. I got the thesaurus on me.
Who do you think is the most, this is good for you guys, spontaneous out of the two of you?
What?
Or we can go first.
Yeah, you guys go.
Yeah.
I think you're more spontaneous than I am.
I feel like it just goes back to like, I don't think like who would have. I feel like I moved across way faster. In my head, that was like the most spontaneous thing to do in my life. Is just to
Move
drop
across.
everything and just let's do it. Now, I don't know. Obviously, you can relate, but I can't think of anything more spontaneous than dropping everything in life and then starting anew.
I think you're just more go with the flow in general. Not that that means spontaneous, but like kind of related. Like
Okay.
I'm more planned person.
Indeed.
You guys are both pretty spontaneous as far as I know.
Yeah, like I wouldn't say one or the
It's
other is
more.
more spontaneous. We're both just like extremely spontaneous. So we're just like, I don't know if Tessa finds the spontaneity before I do. I'm like, sure.
Yeah.
Or sometimes I'll find the spontaneity before she does. She's
Yeah.
like, all right, that sounds
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. I think we're completely compatible in that sense.
Yeah.
I just don't like plans changing. Like,
Like you already made a plan and then pivot.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we're going to go for quick drinks and dinner. Oh, by the way, we're actually going to like a fashion show. And I'm wearing like, you know.
Yeah, sometimes I'm not the best at
sweatpants.
like, you know,
Yeah,
telling
giving a
her what's
heads up,
actually,
yeah.
I don't love that.
That's fair.
But it's probably because he was looking up nerd stuff when he was telling me about the plans.
That's exactly
and
what I
forgot
was
to tell
doing,
me where. Yeah.
I'm trying to find a really good one to end on.
Oh man.
Ooh. Oh, I kind of like this one. If your, it says spouse, but you know, ignore that. If your spouse asks you to grab them a treat from the store on the way home, what would you pick up?
literally any candy. Like just the first 5 you see, just grab 10 of them and just give them to Tessa. Although I found out recently that I should be doing that because
Yeah.
apparently I got some blood sugar level problems.
Oh
But
damn.
You a chocolate girl or like a candy?
I'm a sour.
sour
Sour
candy.
candy
Yeah,
girl.
yeah. Sorry to specify, like sour candy.
Sour candy.
Just anything, something sweet.
Something sweet.
A little something sweet.
Every day. One small treat.
If Nerd Cluster gummies are on special, make sure you get those.
Gummy clusters.
Yeah.
I found them
love
for
those.
$1.89.
Where?
Good question. A Stop and
In,
Shop in Connecticut
Like
somewhere.
New Bedford, Rhode Island. So if you
Yeah.
ever pass through.
Checks out.
I get those on road trips.
Yeah. And
And
for Joey, I would grab him a bottle of
beer.
beer.
and
An
little treats.
IPA.
Or my special treat if we're in the States is a Snickers ice cream bar. 'Cause-
Snickers ice cream bar.
Snickers.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I like those with beer. So
He does. It's a perfect combo.
it is a great combo. There's not much I don't like with beer, but you know.
What would my treat be?
It'd either be hot Cheetos, those little white cheddar puffs, at Trader Joe's. Or you don't like those. You like the other ones a little bit better.
The smart food.
Yeah, smart food, some type of popcorn.
Crunchy snacks.
Yeah.
Oh, crunchy,
Crunchy
snacks.
salty.
Those are like the main ones I think you would like. Or ice cream.
Birthday cake.
Birthday cake ice cream.
Yeah. I feel like I would get you like a little pint of ice cream or a cookie.
Mint chocolate
A
chip.
cookie.
Bro, the only treat Austin wants is me, and you know it.
Bro, why are we just turning this on you right now? What's going on?
Kiss.
We're turning that. You heard it, bro. Come on. Let's go.
Kiss.
Yes.
All right. Well, we gotta wrap this up. My final question for all my guests. I don't know if you guys can do this quickly or if you're in a mood to be vulnerable, but the podcast is called Vulnerable.
Oh, true.
I ask all of my guests if there's anything they want to be vulnerable about on the spot. Anything that's currently on your mind that you'd like to share with others?
Yeah. I mean, my mental health for the past 6 months since moving to Canada has been pretty bad. Like, I've had days where I didn't have energy to get out of the house and go to the grocery store across the street. You just, when you don't have agency to like be gainfully employed, like
Right.
make friends without sharing this big secret, you kind of become a shell of a human being. So I am just now defrosting and like returning back to my bubbly, happy self. But
Yeah.
it's definitely been a hard transition and one that I couldn't have really prepared for, I don't think. So
Yeah, no, there's no way you could have possibly known that it was going to be that tough.
yeah.
It's like, and such a happy thing too. Like you found love on a TV show, you moved to Canada for the person you found love with, like you're engaged. And then it just, so many things came with that made it so complex.
Yeah. So
Oof. Oh, thanks
Yeah.
for sharing.
Yeah,
I'm
of
glad
course.
you're, I think over the hump.
yeah, I think so.
Oh, yeah.
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 Gotta do some damage control because I like definitely didn't take care of a few things, but you know.
Happens to the best of us. At least in
Yeah.
summer too. Like I feel
True.
like in the winter I'm like
Yeah.
seasonal depressed.
Yeah, winter does not help.
No.
I
Yeah.
think mine like kind of falls. I mean, I got like a 2-part. One is like just also just, I mean, we're engaged, so that person's happiness then becomes your happiness. And so like just seeing Tessa go through that, and then me feeling like it was my fault because I'm Canadian and you came to Canada to be with me, and it's just like wanting her to be happy and like trying to do everything I can, but like, cause guys just want to fix shit and like not being able to fix it was just the most frustrating thing, I think, just to deal with, just because I just wanted her to be happy.
Yeah.
And not knowing the solution to that or how to make that happen was just like really hard to deal with. But on a happy vulnerable side, and I told you guys this yesterday, so we just were in Martha's Vineyard with Tessa's family, and her uncle had a birthday, and I'd never seen Tessa's dad perform. He's a musician. And he sang, and I just wanted to start crying as soon as this guy sang. And then like after I told him how good he was, he's like, I know. And then he came over randomly later, and he like put his arm around my shoulder, and I told him how great he was. And he's like, I know. And he's like, I love you. And he grabbed my head and he rubbed it and he kissed me on the side of the head. And just like, it just healed so much inner childhood trauma. Not that my dad, love you, Dad. Like, you're great, but you're not one to tell me you love me ever. So that was just like really adorable to have like a, somewhat now father figure in my life like come over and just be openly express emotion towards
so
me. It
sweet.
was pretty special little moment.
Yeah, I feel like in that family aspect, you guys are like far ahead of us because I'm like, I want like my family. Obviously, I think my family's gonna love you, but it's just like I want everyone to meet you and to like get close with you, and it's just hard when we're nowhere near there.
Yeah.
That's like such a full circle moment too, because I feel like when we were on the beach, Tessa came and like sang her song, and like you were about to cry. Now you're watching her dad like sing his song. Like,
Oh, true.
Yeah.
sorry,
Solid.
to make you
That's a good call.
That's
so
solid.
sweet. Oh,
Yeah.
would you like to be vulnerable about anything today?
Yeah, I was gonna say something similar. I feel like when it comes to like spontaneity, it's like a double-edged sword sometimes. So I would say like moving to New York, it definitely, you're like almost like baptized by fire, kind of like thrown into the deep end. Like that analogy doesn't work, but it's like you have to adjust way faster and way quicker and think on your toes like 24/7 to figure out what you're doing and how to get there. And certain times it's like, I'm definitely like kind of go with the flow. I know everything will work out, but there are definitely days where I'm just like, damn, like I want this to happen like now.
Yeah.
And so I feel like I'm getting over the hump, but I don't even know like how to say it. But like I would say like I would still take that same risk like over and over because that's just who I am. I'm going to take a risk if there is one because I feel like it leads to more opportunity. But yeah, like I said, it's just, it gets tough to adjust when you're not doing it fast enough. But I feel like I'm getting there, and I feel like having someone to do it with makes it a lot easier.
I mean, you're doing great. It's not easy to move to New York for the first time.
Yeah.
With a girl
Fast-paced.
that you've only known for 8 months, that you met on a TV show. Nobody can relate.
That's the thrill of life, though. It's like, why would you, like, I feel like, should I have not and done it more conservative? I'm like, let me just figure something out. And then, like, you're like, sitting there waiting. And it's just like, no, like, I feel like it's better to take that risk and figure it out as you go than overthink about it.
Yeah, regardless
Yeah.
of the outcome, because whether it's, and I've been saying this a lot to Tessa with her, like, kind of shotgun decision to move to Canada with me. It's like, as tough as it has been, on her, it's these things that had you chose not to do that. I mean, like going through adversity is what ultimately makes you grow as a human. It makes you stronger and better. And you always look back at it and it shows resilience and it builds your character as, kind of cliche as that sounds, it really does.
Yeah.
And like going through hardships in your life genuinely are what help you to continue to grow and move further into yourself as a human.
Yeah,
And
I feel like, and we're all there. We all take risks, and I feel
Yeah,
like
for
it's
sure.
addicting to be addicted to adversity to an extent.
Yeah.
But there definitely are days where you're just like, fuck, man.
Yeah, like what the fuck
What am I doing?
here?
But then you get over it. I'm like, that's not that bad.
Yeah,
It's just
exactly.
solid.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a great note to end on. Guys, thank you so much for being here. I'm glad we got to do it in person and not virtually. Austin,
Same.
thanks for being
It's a
here
pleasure.
too. Everyone, tell everyone where they can find you on social media.
Yes.
Days out.
I'm Tessa.Tookes on Instagram and Tessos on TikTok.
And I am Mr. Joey Kirchner on Instagram. And I am Mr. Joey Kirchner on
You got
TikTok.
both usernames.
And I'm just kidding. That's all I use. Facebook. Check me out.
And then Tinsley, first name, and then SLEY for Instagram. And then TikTok is just my last name, Tinsley, but instead of an I, it's an X because someone took
So
Tinsley.
confusing.
It's one letter, buddy.
It's hard to say on a podcast. And you can watch this full episode at Vulnerable Pod on YouTube. You can find me at Chelsea Vaughn on Instagram and Chelsea Vaughn _ on TikTok. And that's it. We'll see you guys next episode. Bye.
See you later.